Immortality. Kinda kills the tension a bit, doesn't it? Thankfully, most immortality extends to simply not dying naturally instead of not being killable. And while there are undoubtedly insanely powerful immortals out there, not all of them are superheroes. So we're gonna focus on the ones who have been heroes. So this is our top 10 strongest immortal superheroes. Sam Guthrie, aka Cannonball, has been both an X-Man and an Avenger, and due to his apparent status as an external, is believed to be immortal. His powers are based around the ability to generate thermochemical energy and release it from his skin, then using that energy to propel his body through the air at fantastic speeds, effectively making him, as his name states, a human cannonball. Compared to the rest of this list, he is definitely lacking in the variety of powers department, but really, any superhero with immortality is going to be an asset, and I'd be happy to have him in my corner. Number 9. Thor is only borderline immortal, since he can be killed by Ragnarok. That said, it's not permanent because of the cycle of rebirth, and it's also a comic and he's not Ben Parker, so Thor will always be back. At least, that's what it appears to be anyway. Regardless, Thor's powers are well known, especially given his prolific role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But let's take a quick look at those. Obviously, we have superhuman strength, speed, durability, and, as long as he's eating the golden apples, stay in his physical prime. And with Mjolnir, he possesses dimensional transportation, a form of flight, and weather manipulation, and that's more than enough for me to say he's worthy of being on this list. Number 8. I am gonna call this one potentially immortal, simply because while he can die, he's also been seen living 800 years in the future in the X-Force/Cable one-shot Messiah War, so seemingly, as long as no one kills Deadpool, he'll keep living. And given this character has, or should have been killed more times than I can count, killing him doesn't seem to be enough to stop him from coming back. So, I'm gonna go ahead and add him to this list. Number 7. Yep, Superman's immortal, at least as long as he isn't killed. Although, let's be real, that hasn't stopped him yet either. Action Comics 1000 depicted a story of Superman bidding farewell to the Earth, and more specifically, his parents, shortly before it would be consumed by the sun, confirming that Superman could not die of natural causes. But also, in a sweet moment, we witness Clark question life, even now that he's billions of years old. We see him question what it was all for and why he keeps coming back. We already know Superman is strong, but that goes without saying. But even with everything he's experienced over the length of his incredibly long life, we see that the true strength of Superman is in his considerate nature and the strength of his heart, even in the last moments of the Earth. Number 6. Artemis is actually a fairly new character, not to be confused with Artemis Croc. This, fully known as Artemis of Bana Migdal, is an Amazon who left to recover the Bow of Ra, and became an ally of Red Hood and Bizarro in the process. Much like Wonder Woman, Artemis is immortal thanks to being a child of Hera, although she can be killed in battle. She basically has the same base set of powers that Wonder Woman possesses: superhuman strength, agility, stamina, durability. So if Wonder Woman can make the cut on this list, I'd say Artemis is definitely worthy. Speaking of which, number 5. While Wonder Woman has always been semi-immortal, as of her New 52 relaunch, she's actually been fully immortal. And considering she was impressively strong before that, adding the powers of superhuman speed, accelerated healing, and flight pretty much clinched her being on this list. Heck, she's even gained the powers of Ares, the god of war, so add that to her ever-growing list. And let's face it, with Gal Gadot being her new face, how can you not love her? Number 4. The Phantom Stranger is an interesting immortal, specifically in that he doesn't even seem to be killable. The guy has had his heart removed and still didn't die. His origins are as of yet unknown, but several stories have circulated, including that he's a fallen angel who chose no side between heaven and hell, and thus must walk the earth for all eternity. Another states that he is a citizen of another universe, who at the end of the previous universe passed over to the new universe. That's actually really interesting. This might be just me, but I've always loved fictionized biblical characters. Anyway, Phantom Stranger's powers include dimensional travel, Eldritch Blast, spectral sight, illusion casting, oneromancy, and reality manipulation, just to name a few. So, this guy's kind of amazing, and his only real limitation is his inability to directly intervene with, well, anything. Which kind of makes him sound like, well, some might say, God. Number 3. Yep, Dr. Manhattan couldn't be missed on this list. He's insanely powerful, seemingly impossible to harm, and can restore his body when disintegrated and be just fine. He doesn't breathe, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, and just to top it all off, he's immortal. He's basically one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. As far as being a hero goes, however, he's always kind of towed the line. As far as immortals go, he's similar to Phantom Stranger in that he seems to be disconnected from humanity and only intervenes when he feels it's necessary. So given his power levels and immortal status, and that god attitude, he's on the list. Number 2. Yeah, the fact that the Phoenix Force has ever been stopped is amazing to me. I mean, the Phoenix Force is an ancient cosmic entity that represents life that has not yet been born, and the forces of creation and destruction. It's immortal, and was born of the void between states of being. Its very birth just sounds like a god. In addition, it is the nexus of all psionic energy in all realities of the Omniverse, and is among the most feared beings in the entire universe, and is able to cut and regrow any part of the universe as well as destroy it entirely. And given the aliases it's had over the years, the World Destroyer, the end of all that is, the Big Bang, Chaos Bringer, and Ravager of Worlds, I think it's safe to say that this immortal cosmic entity's strength is pretty boundless. Now if they could just make a good movie about it. Number 1. I'm surprised I don't hear more about the Sentry. So, the Sentry was originally named Robert Reynolds, a middle-aged man who obtained his power from a special serum he took as a boy. The result was he obtained immeasurable power, but another being came to be, known as the Void. The Void turned out to be Robert's other half, and as long as the other exists, the other can never die. They will always come back. And, in the most recent volume of Sentry from 2018, the Void and Robert have finally merged together, becoming whole once again and possessing power greater than they ever had while separate, which was already pretty much off the charts. So who knows how powerful this guy is now. That said, an immortal being who can't be stopped by a team of Avengers, gotta give it to them. That is power. And that is it for our list of the top 10 immortal superheroes. I gotta say, way more characters are immortal than I realized. It's no wonder the stakes have to be as large as universal deletion. There isn't much else that can threaten an immortal being. Anyway, who's your favorite immortal? And what about the villains? Think we should cover them? There's way more of them, to be honest. Until then, have a good one. And given this character has or should have been killed more than time. And given this character has or should have been more killed.